Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'll be talking about exam techniques and a very specific exam technique called cramming. Some of you might have heard of cramming before. It's a technique that's not really recommended by people and I don't really promote it very much, but it's certainly something you need to know, especially if there are only days before exams and you haven't started revising. So keep watching this video till the end to find out the best tips for cramming. Check out the next few videos where I'm thinking of putting up a few things on this wall so it won't be so plain anymore and you'll have something to look at. So for any of you out there watching, exams are probably coming up and this video I feel is very timely for that reason. Some of you might have 1 or 2 weeks left, a couple of days, or maybe hours before the exam by the time you're watching this, and for that reason I've decided to split this video into 3 sections. There will be exam tips for a week, and then exam tips for maybe a day or 2, and then exam tips for an hour before the exam, and all the timestamps are linked up there for the specific sections as well as in the description. Now on cramming, it's not something I advise, but obviously there are a few number of people who have valid reasons to cram. Perhaps it's a better technique for them, or sometimes the circumstances are a bit different and some people can't really revise as much as other people, and also some people just didn't revise before. This video is for everyone who hasn't started revising, because some of these tips with cramming you can utilize in your normal revision. And so the first section I'll be talking about is the week before the exams, and I'll split this into 7 days because you have 7 days to revise and what you should do in those 7 days to get the best grades possible. Okay, so day 1, what you want to do is start identifying the topics you are the weakest at. So if you have a larger grade, this is something you should definitely do so you know exactly what you need to focus on instead of having to scramble around for material later in the week. Next, what you should do is start a revision timetable. I know I've talked about my contempt for them before, but really honestly they can be quite useful if you need structured revision weeks before the exam, so you should definitely make one of those. If not, make a to-do list. Then what else you should do is start revising earlier in the day. So perhaps if you wake up at 12 o'clock, try wake up at 9 o'clock and start revising. What I also want to talk about in terms of sleep is not to spend too long in the evening. So maybe revise up till 8 o'clock or 8:30 and then afterwards put away, wind down for a bit and then go to sleep, because ideally you want the most amount of sleep so you are fueled for the exam. Next, what you want to do for day 2 is keep a timetable. Keep to the timetable you created in day 1, and what you want to do is review your notes that you made in class. Hopefully you made some, or if you've been perhaps slacking off in class, review the textbooks you've been given or any further material on BBC Bitesize. Then what else I suggest is try using the Pomodoro technique. I have a video all about that. It should be linked up with the eye icon up above. It's a very good technique to help utilize the most amount of time as well as do the best amount of studying. And it's a great way to study smarter, not harder, which is something you'll definitely have to do. Then what you want to go and do on day 3 is start a new topic. So let's say for the last 2 days you've been focusing on key concepts in biology in B1 and you finished B1. What you want to try and do is move on to B2, and what you should do is start off with the highest priority of what you do not understand at all and work your way down to the easiest. Or another way you could do it is perhaps do the hardest, then an easy, hard, easy, so you keep motivated. At that point it's really up to you. This kind of gives you initiative with your learning. So what I also revise in terms of specific subjects is for maths and science. It'd be good if you could make a few flashcards, maybe 5 or 10, and then do as many practice papers as you can after revising or memorizing the notes that you've made before. And for languages or humanities, what you should try and do is memorize key concepts, facts, dates, people. And for English, you should try and memorize key quotes if you have a quote exam, or try and memorize a method of writing, such as PQAs or extended paragraphs. What you want to do is complete as much practice as possible so you've done a good amount of revision for day 3. Day 4, what you want to do is continue with the topic, or if you feel that you have done that topic, perhaps move on to something else. It's similar to day 3, since you have to keep revising a good amount and keep sticking to your timetable. Try not to slack off, so think about what you're going to do after that week, and also keep very closely to a no distraction zone. So perhaps put your phone under your bed if you don't use your phone for revision, which I don't really advise. Then what you should definitely do on day 5 is go through all the topics you've already done and re-revise them. That will ensure that you have a strong grasp of that material. Then day 6, once again, go through your flashcards, notes, practice, do exam papers as much as you can. And I don't really advise starting a new topic here unless it's really easy and you know you can do it. Day 7 is also something similar. Go through your topics, but don't stress. Now you've done your revision, you know you have gotten at least a minimum grade, so you can focus on that, and then you focus on other questions or question types that you know will come up in the exam that might increase your grade. And what you should also do is try and get a good night's sleep before the exam, as well as some good food in you. So that's what I advise for a week before exams. Let's move on. Okay, so this section I'm going to be talking about 3, 2, or 1 day before the exam. What you want to do for the 3 days you have time to revise is on the first day, go through all your notes, scan or highlight any important facts that you need to know, write them down. So maybe keep a piece of A4 paper next to you and go through and keep writing all the important facts down as you go through the textbook. Then that's what you should probably start revising. If you can, make some flashcards. I don't really see benefits of flashcards this late on in revision. So instead, go through, memorize key concepts as much as you can using mnemonics and other revision techniques. And also keep using the Pomodoro technique. This is something I really advise. Or perhaps work in 2-hour blocks. Really depends on your revision technique. Next, what you want to do is watch lectures or videos or anything on 2 times speed. So try and absorb as much information as possible and then jot down any key facts that you learned from the video. So what you should do afterwards for the 2nd or 3rd day is jump into practice tests as much as you can. I know you probably haven't had as much time to revise the notes as much as you want, but at this point it's really beneficial that you go straight into practice exams, do practice papers, and if you don't understand anything, go back to your notes and look at them, and then go back to your practice paper. Try not to look at the mark scheme directly ahead. That's something you should really try and do. Okay, so these are some quick fire tips for the night before exams. You've probably heard stories of people having to revise the nights before. Once again, it's something I don't really advise, but oh well, what can you do when you only have a night? Well, you can do quite a lot. One thing you should definitely do is have a good sleep, and this is kind of contradictory to the night before technique, but if you have a night before, you've probably identified that you have some time before, so such as in the evening, or perhaps if you started in the day, you have some time before the evening. And also gather all your supplies and books or before you start revising, just so that you don't have to grab things as you go. It's just honestly a great way of going and being able to reach for something without having to get up. Other things, don't study in your bedroom, keep away from your bedroom or your bed specifically. Essentially, don't study on your bed, study on your desk or perhaps downstairs if there aren't that many people and it's a bit quieter. Next, what you should do is study the key concepts of the thing, study the bigger picture instead of the minute details. Although there's certainly will be some questions that focus on the minute details, you'll have more of a chance to guess them when you've done the bigger idea. So that's something you should definitely do. Then go through a quick run through of anything you've made before. Perhaps you've had notes before. If you're very fortunate and you've made flashcards or you have flashcards from something, go through them and also do a past paper. Even if it's just one past paper, it will put you in the technique of answering the questions similar to how you'll answer them on your exam. So that's certainly something you should do. Then after some good revision the day before, pack up and go to sleep. Don't hesitate, don't go your phone, just pack up and go to sleep. If it's about 10 o'clock, it's a great time to go to sleep because you'll have a good, decent 8 hours of sleep before your exam. And this is kind of for the day of the exam. Have a good breakfast, go through your textbook, go through your notes. Although I can't guarantee that you'll get an amazing grade, you will hopefully at least get a passing grade if you're aiming for that, if it's the night before. If you're aiming for higher, well, keep a positive mindset and maybe you'll get it. Can't guarantee it. But anyways, that was the cramming video. So that was the video on cramming and how to cram in 3 types of ways. So a week before, 3 days before, and a day or night before. And I really hope you enjoyed that video. And although I've said this, I don't advise cramming. Sometimes you have no choice. So I really hope these tips help you. And whenever you see this video, you'll be able to come back to it or use these tips in a good way to get any good grades. Also, comment down below any grades that you do get, and I'll see you all next week. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and bye for now.